Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Soufiane Ben Farhat. I'm very pleased to receive you in this wonderful place in Hammamet. But at the same time, I receive a great man, Mr. Brad Wyman, who is an American producer, well known in Hollywood. He lives in Hollywood and he worked for a long time in Hollywood. He works still there. You can, some of you have seen his marvelous movies like Monster, White of the Eye, Freeway, Trees Lounge, and others. You're welcome in Tunisia.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful introduction. I'm blushing.
Why are you here in Tunisia? An American man in Hammamet.
You know, the first thing, when I visited Tunisia, though, for the first time, what it reminded me of weather-wise, and even the country-wise, it reminded me of California.
Ah, really?
Yeah, it really did.
Ah.
I really did. And you know, there's a reason why, you know, all of those Mr. Warners and Mr. MGM and Mr. Universal moved from New York cross country to California to make motion pictures.
Yeah,
Because of
there
the
is
weather.
a special brightness in the air and the weather.
Yeah, you have good weather. You don't have rain. You have, you know, beautiful weather. You have sunshine. You have beaches. You have coasts. And I mean, to answer your question simply, I've come to Tunisia to make motion pictures. That's why I'm here.
You speak about. You know, you have till now about 40 motion pictures.
Yes.
This is great for a man who works in Hollywood. You are not 60 years old, you know. After 60 years...
Getting close.
After 60 years, life becomes to be marvelous, delicious.
It does.
You will enjoy this. But at the same time, you have 40 movies in Hollywood. It's a great job, I think.
Thank you.
You had a big chance to...
Well, movies were a lot easier to actually get funded back then. You had probably 50, 60 places you could knock on their doors for financing for motion picture. I think we're down to 7 now.
Yeah.
So it seems impossible, you know, if you look at how to get in the industry then. And when I started, there really was a lot of opportunity, and there were a lot of opportunity for unique and different pictures, you know, as well as blockbusters. And I always tended to lean towards the unique. Always wanted to be original.
Yeah, but at the same time, you are a man of his age, so you aren't only working on motion pictures like before. You have changed your mode of work. I've read something about you are now making crowdfunding opportunity to secure financing of entertainment projects.
I did do that for quite a while, and it's a really good way to raise money. I mean, it's just a direct source, go straight to the people, pre-sell your tickets, basically, rather than going to a bank or a financier. I was always looking for wrinkles. Way back when, someone told me the only thing you need to make movies is money.
The money, yeah.
But you don't need a studio. You know, you don't need permission from Mr. Paramount. You just need money. So there are now all sorts of different opportunities and way to raise money.
Very nice. But at the same time, I want to speak about something. You know, I'm not the first one to have coined this, but even journalism, like my job, now we speak about infotainment. It's a new concept with digitalization. So do you think there are new opportunities of this area, the digital opportunities that you can...
Well, think about it. I mean, when I started making movies, you know, 30, 40 years ago, I was 21 when I produced Wide of the Eye, my first movie with Donald Campbell. We shot on 35 millimeter film. We cut it on a flatbed.
Yeah, before it was like this.
Yeah, and we had to project it to see it. I mean, we live in a world now where you can make movies on your phone and immediately upload them to the world on YouTube.
Sure.
Immediately. It just shows, though, that there are are tons of different ways to present media now. If it's digitally, if it's streaming, if it's in a motion picture theater. I mean, you have a great deal of accessibility to not only shoot, but to cut film, and now even market, you know, through Twitter and I mean, you can even market yourself, you know, you don't even need the machine. In fact, there are people on TikTok that have millions of viewers just making 90-second films. For me, I like movies.
And even for the producer, the same thing, because the old school, a producer each day, he says what are the scenes that are good. So they say, it's okay, it can be. And we send it to the distributor, and after we have the other chance, we after collage of all of them. Even for the producer, it's better to work now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, there's a real worry about theatrical motion pictures at the moment. We had 2 years of COVID. We had 2 years where people didn't go to movie theaters. We all want our movies to play in theaters. We also want our paintings to hang in the Louvre. But if people discover my movies on Netflix or Amazon or Apple or NBC, that's okay. You know, that's okay. I mean, you still want the stories to be told and seen. And if the next generations prefer watching it on their sunglasses, that's okay. I'm still making media. I'm still entertaining. I'm still telling stories. I like to tell stories.
A story, because cinema is a story.
I love stories.
It's a date, yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what it's about for me.
And it's a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a dream to tell a story.
Direct
You know that.
Yeah.
You know, you can go off script a little bit. What's your favorite story?
Yeah.
Tell me, what are some of your favorite stories?
My favorite story in the history?
In film.
In film, The Godfather.
Oh, see,
Coppola.
yeah,
Novecento di Bertolucci.
sure.
Yeah.
Italians.
And all the movies, some American actors are very brave, like the Green Line, for example, something like this.
Movies last.
This is a tale. This is.
But movies last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, what a universal thing. How many people have seen The Godfather?
I think all people.
Godfather?
Godfather.
We've all seen The Godfather.
Yeah, Le Parrain. Qui a vu Le Parrain?
And it was made in Hollywood, in California. So what a privilege to tell stories,
Yeah.
to leave footprints, you know, for generations and people you would never know around the world. So people have seen my movies that I'll never meet, but they know a little bit about me. They know a little bit about me.
And the movies of Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you love Tommy.
Yeah, I like this man.
Yeah, I know.
Because he did nearly never made a bad film.
What's your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Castaway, for example.
Castaway. I like
Castaway.
Big.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
The story of the man in the airport.
Oh,
was a true story.
He just died, by the way.
He died last week.
Yeah.
He died last week, I know. Let's speak about the population and the market. Some people say that a night out at movies can get very costly now. So some people prefer to see in the comfort of their homes movies on TV. And there are now lots of platforms like Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime. Do you think this is a new opportunity to the movies, to the pictures?
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. You know, I mean, again, we all want people to see our movies in movie theaters. You know, but with having platforms that have subscription-based revenue, guaranteed monthly revenue, which is new for the studios. It's new since the beginning of the studios. Studios only knew how much money they made based on if they had a hit movie or not. Now you know you have $25, $10, $30 a month. You know, and that's an influx of money.
Yeah.
Now, will most of that product stream? Yes.
Yeah.
But you have to get over it, you know?
And that the theater now obliged to be like Netflix to change their mode of receiving.
They need, they're monsters too. They got to feed, you know, they have to, the constant, you know, product is required. And as a filmmaker, yes, that's an opportunity. And by the way, you know, maybe you make one that's so good that started on Netflix that they screen it 5 years later in a theater.
Sure.
What an honor.
Yeah.
You still get to the theater, you know, you still get to hang in the Louvre. The great movies will always play in the theater. I like to take, I took one of my sons to see The Godfather in the movie theater. It's like you had to see it in the movie theater, you know, don't watch it on TV.
And do you think that the box office now is digital more than physical?
Well, we're concerned.
Both.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very, you know, valid point. And again, that's getting people back to the theaters. But everyone went to Top Gun.
Yeah.
And so people do want to go to the theaters.
Yeah.
Does it require just an event?
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a new form completely, you know. Maybe you'll subscribe to movie theaters like you do to Amazon.
Yeah.
Maybe Amazon will own the theaters.
Yeah.
And anything you can see, by the way, you could get 10 friends maybe. And anything you could just punch in and you could all show up at a theater. I mean, who knows how it will evolve, but the opportunity created by streamers is great.
Sure.
Steady
Do you think a movie like
flow.
The Irishman should have another box office if it wasn't produced by Netflix?
Maybe.
But now he's well known throughout the world.
Maybe. I don't know. It's a long movie.
Long movie, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people
They're
saw
nice films, but they're long.
A lot of
like
people
Once
saw
Upon
it
a Time in America is too long.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah.
Too long.
Sergio Leone.
Yeah, sure. Once
A
Upon
good
a Time in
topic, but a long history.
Yeah,
Story.
I like Once Upon a Time in the West better.
One of the best in the history. Yeah.
Charles Bronson.
With the music, yeah. Charles Bronson.
I think all Americans and all Tunisians really just want to be Italians.
But I think you Americans, you have fascination for the gangsters, something like this.
Always.
For the guns even.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah. Well, it's the Wild West.
Yeah.
We were watching last night The Wild Bunch with my friends, and really it was 100 years ago. That's 100 years ago. I mean, guns and Indians and cowboys. I mean, that's just we're still America.
The spirit of the West, the adventure, it's the original story of America.
It's exactly, but it's a new story. It's not like we have to look back 4,000 years for gladiators.
Yeah. I want to speak about something. We spoke about Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO. They seem not to be in particular interested by the Arab world. Why?
Well, I don't know if they're not interested in the Arab world or if they don't know how to approach them. It's hopefully what I'm doing here and with the picture I want to shoot here, because you know, Americans and probably many countries always have a tendency to think of everybody just as who the extremists are. Probably the world looks at us on TV, you know, and thinks we all have orange hair and are screaming at everybody and trying to run into the Capitol. We're not all, you know. And I want to make movies that bridge cultures. I want to make movies that bring the Arab world, the Middle East, and America closer.
Yeah.
Stories can connect people. Stories and ideals. People can get around a central metaphor. If your movie has a central metaphor that everyone in the world can surround by, hopefully it will bring people closer. And I'm learning, you know, like everyone has to learn that to approach shooting in North Africa and to approach shooting in the Middle East and using filmmakers, it requires, you know, learning a lot about how the world works outside of America.
Yeah. But at this level, my generation, for example, we like a lot United States, but what's the lost generation, for example, Scott Fitzgerald, Ernest Hemingway, John Dos Passos.
Sure.
And we like a lot John Updike.
Sure.
Beloved of the big tailors of United States, William Faulkner, Steinbeck.
I understand.
But Americans know the Arab world. Since, for example, you had this big movie, Lawrence of Arabia, for example, who spoke about the Arab world. And Omar Sharif was with Peter O'Toole in this movie and was in another movie who is Dr. Zhivago, All American Life.
Sharif was.
Do you think Americans can make plus to see the other world in another way?
Well, I mean, even if you look at Lawrence of Arabia, you know, it's told very from the British point of view. It would be quite interesting to see that movie made from King Faisal's point of view. It would be, I'm sure, a much different story.
Yeah.
Sure. So, I mean, America, though, like you could name all those offers, we do a great job of marketing ourselves. Our movies are our commercials. So you know all those names. You know, the Arab world has not really tried to market itself to the United States. And hopefully, with the brilliant vision that they have in Saudi now from 2030, they will learn to market, you know, and cross cultures, and we'll understand the wonders and beauty of it. I mean, I came here specifically Tunisia to make a movie specifically in Tunisia with Mehdi Ajoudi. I fell in love with Mehdi from seeing his film, an award-winning film called Cedrus.
Yes.
And occasionally you look at somebody on screen, and it's a brilliant story, and it's beautifully shot. There's many elements to it. I loved it. But you just couldn't keep your eyes off of Mehdi. You know, it was like when I saw Robert Downey for the first time. I just couldn't keep my eyes off of him. And when I started talking about what picture I wanted to make with Mehdi, we centralized on making a classic Arabian tale, Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Sinbad, if you will.
Yeah. And the flying carpet.
I can't. Not in the first one. The next one. My director won't let me have a flying carpet in this one. Very upset, but I'll get to him. I'd like a flying carpet, but the story is still an American tale by Rudyard Kipling. It's the legend of Prince Ahmad.
Yes.
And the first story will be heartless. And what we have come around to a central metaphor in this picture is that you can grow a heart by love of family. Family. And
for
that,
American, it's something essential.
And yet that was given to us by our filmmaker Hamza Jajoum, who's from Saudi Arabia. So instead of getting the princess, he finds his father and his sister. It's about family. So if that central metaphor...
eternal value.
Yeah. And if that central metaphor, if we do it well, and we tell the story properly, with Hamza, my Saudi Arabian director, Mehdi, my North African Tunisian star, and me, the producer from America, right? But if we tell that heart of the story well, right, we'll cross cultures.
Yeah. So
we'll cross cultures, though.
Yeah.
Grab that.
Yes.
We're going to make
something
the countries
fusion.
Closer.
Yeah, fusion. Yeah. You have seen this movie, but you came to Tunisia. How do you find Tunisia now? Because there is Sahara in Saudi Arabia, in Algeria, in Libya, in other countries. Why did you have this coup de cœur for Tunisian South, for example, or Tunisian brightness?
Do you know where Lawrence of Arabia was shot? Spain.
Spain, yeah.
So, I mean...
People think it was in Jordan or something.
Exactly, it's Spain.
Wadi Rum is in Jordan.
But Tunisia has everything you need for a fantasy adventure. It has beaches, it has mountains, it has deserts, it has caves, it even has souks.
Yeah.
It has everything. It also has unbelievable weather. It's California.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Hollywood of Africa. And there's a reason George Lucas came here 6 times to make Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Sure.
It's a great place to shoot.
And the English patient even he was
Yes,
in Tunisia.
and the English patient as well. But so there is a history, obviously, but you're now 2-3 crews deep of great technicians. You really are. You could shoot 3 pictures at the same time here. You're that.
Do you expect that in Tunisia these devices, the maestria of technology and the devices of cinema, they are enough good to have?
They're available.
Yeah,
they're available.
Available.
If they're not available, we'll help grow it. You know, things change every week. You know, LED screens, digital capture. I mean, is everything, you know, bells and whistle here yet? No, but we'll help grow it. I mean, when you shoot consistently in a country, you grow the industry. You grow the industry, and you know this though. You know, this is a very, you know, special collaboration. I mean, you're being led by a Saudi Arabian filmmaker who understands families, the ethics, and the morals of the country, and he's telling a very Indiana Jones-like picture.
yeah.
Again, centered around finding a heart and bridging communities. If we could bring Africa closer to Los Angeles, if we can bring Saudi Arabia closer to America, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I think perhaps for Tunisian it should be better. We have the know-how. We have this wonderful site, like you say. You know, in the north we have even the snow. But how to know us? We must work a lot that people know all these opportunities that offer Tunisia for the industry of cinema.
I think if you make really wonderful pictures, though, which we're going to do, and you start showing them around the world, people will come.
Like you have seen this movie, this marvelous movie I've seen, like you said, and this will be the ambassador of Tunisia.
Yeah, well, you know,
lobbying with dreams.
Yeah. Well, Omar Sharif was a wonderful,
Yeah.
you know, face to bring cultures, and hopefully by putting a young African, you know, Tunisian in the lead, you know, we'll have the same face. It's very exciting to make movies that have greater ambition than just making someone laugh or making them scared. The ambition for this movie is threefold. You know, first, make a wonderful picture.
Sure.
Second, grow an industry in Tunisia. 3, you know, cross cultures with the whole Arab world and Saudi Arabia with our Saudi Arabia filmmaker. So we have lofty goals, but at the same time, you know, you might as well reach for the stars.
Yeah. And you know, we have a problem in Tunisia. We have this tête-à-tête with Europe and with France, especially for history. Now we have this summit of Francophonie in Tunisia. But we must see other horizons, and movies don't have any horizons. You have Akira Kurosawa from Japan, you have people from India, people from South Africa. All of them are brave men who made brave women that make good things for the whole humanity.
Remember when movies started too, they were silent, so everyone could watch them.
Yes. Sure.
I mean, it's a wonderful thing to present a story to the world.
Do you think, you said that Tunisia is like California?
It is.
California is the 5th richest country in the world. No?
Yes.
And you are proud of this.
Yes.
Your mother, who disappeared unfortunately last month, was a woman. She had a very I read
big
about
impact on Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Big
And
impact.
she had a statue now in Los
Yes,
Angeles.
yes.
Yeah.
Plaques, all sorts of stuff. You know, My mother was a city council person elected in Los Angeles in 1950s. They had no women elected. She's still the youngest person in the country ever to be elected to the city council. Her most famous act was bringing the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team from Brooklyn to LA. She always felt that LA would not be a major league city unless it had a major league ball club.
Yeah.
So she got the Dodgers and Jackie Robinson
The Dodgers were there.
But you know what Mom, you know, instilled in all of us was, you know, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you can't do. And, you know, to make a true, you know, American action fantasy adventure helmed by a person born and raised in Saudi Arabia, you know, starring a Tunisian actor. I mean, my mom would love this.
Yeah, sure. Let you speak about another topic. You know, you have always voted the Democrat in California.
Yeah.
You are the bastion of the Democrats. The most numerous in the United States. You have 55 seats, I think, at the House of Representatives, and the Senate you have 2. What's your point of view about the elections, mid-Manda elections?
I really don't think blue and red. You know, I don't think Democrat, Republican, as much as my, you know, family has, you know, hey, the greatest president of the United States was a Republican. His name was Abraham Lincoln. You know,
sure.
So I don't think
the gap.
I don't think that way.
Party, yeah.
I don't think that way, but I think we are getting more people into the government now that care about people. You know, that have the concerns of the masses. So I'm happy that, you know, people that serve are there to serve the people.
And this is the slogan of even Abraham Lincoln. Democracy from the people to the people.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, it's funny though. You know, my movie has a king. My movie has a prince.
Ah, sure.
You know, so
people.
Yeah.
And
so,
evil forces and good forces.
Yeah, and this was a big debate with my Saudi Arabian director. I go, can he start as a beggar? You know, Americans love rags to riches. He says, no. He needs to start as a prince. And at one point, you know, he turned to me and said, you know, sometimes, Brad, people need a king. And if it's a good king, it raises everybody up the same way. You know, it's funny though, you know, I mean, you know, there's been great kings, and there'll be many more.
For me, the biggest kings are the artists.
Yeah.
And people who make cinema are very brave.
Well, it's fun to play in the sandbox though. You know, I always say, like, in the middle of a crisis on set, you know, that we're running out of time, or the light's going down, or someone didn't show up, or an effect doesn't work. I just always said, everyone take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's not brain surgery.
Okay.
Nobody's going to die on the table.
Yeah.
So it's fun to work in a sandbox, really. You know, we just play. And we play by hopefully entertaining others.
Very nice. I was very pleased to receive you here in Hammamet. I expect to receive you another time.
Soon.
Not for the first film, but the second one.
Yes.
Or the third.
Yes.
In the south of Tunisia.
That'd be wonderful.
Thank you so very
much.
much.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.